Okay, hello once again. So today we're gonna spend the time on the solving the question end of the chapter. But before starting it, I would like to make some announcements. Announcement for coming week. On Thursday, the date is 23rd of April. You're gonna have exam 2, the midterm 2 exam. So I'm gonna put the details. Just a second, let me share the screen then. So 23rd of April, you're gonna have the exam. It's a Thursday. And I'm okay, Abzal. Thank you so much. How are you too, Abzal? I hope you're doing good as well. And all you're good and be healthy, please. Take care of yourself. And on 23rd of April, we're gonna have the exam 2, as I said. So the chapters that you will be responsible for, I will include, let me just check it, is last 2 lectures. It's better to do it. Is competitive firms and the cost of production. But there are chapters, competitive firms and cost of production. This is chapter 14, and this is chapter 13, if I'm not mistaken. So this is the exam that you're gonna have it. And the type of the question you have, it's not a multiple choice. It is problem solving. And drawing, of course. Drawing, I mean, you will not draw it, but you will explain any drawing that you will be given. You have to give the explanation on it. This is what you're gonna have it. And the exam is out of 15 points, as you can see from the syllabus, which was updated upon your request. Apart from that, I'm giving you all the time the homeworks that you should submit it. So the homeworks will be given to you as well. So for homework, I'm gonna give you today as well. And that homework, you will do the presentation to me of the homework on Tuesday. That I'm going to give you today the homework. This is exam 2, which will be on Thursday on the coming one. And on Tuesday, you're going to do presentation of the homework that I'm going to assign you. Homework. And it will be the last homework. So total points of homeworks will be 10 points. So I will accumulate all the homework that I got you, that I gave you. And I want to tell you that I have not graded so far the homeworks. I mean, I have not given you any points for correct or not correct. Like I just, whatever I received, I should just put a click that you submitted the homework. And you will get the full mark if you submit it. But for the homework, that the last one I'm gonna give you, I want you to explain it. And you will do it in a group. Homework will be by group. So the group, you're gonna do the presentation, like 3 or 4 people in once. You will do the presentation, and I'll ask the questions. Maybe some of you will share the screen and do the presentation of that homework, and I'll ask the question related. So one person of the group can make the presentation, the other one may listen, but answer the question that I may ask related to the homework. So that homework will be by group, and it's expected on Tuesday, the coming Tuesday. The date of the Tuesday is, if I'm not mistaken, 20th of April. It comes like this. No, it's 21st of April. Tuesday. So the homework will be by group, 21st, and before that, I'm gonna give you the list of groups. So I'm the one who organized these groups, list of groups, you'll get it. And so far you submitted the homeworks, they will be 5 points, and this homework by group, it will be 5 points. So in total, you're gonna have 10 points. The homework is not difficult. It will be even more interesting. I'm gonna give you the homework to solve some questions. Apart from that, to find one news related to this, okay? So I will give you the questions to solve it, end of the chapter, and plus news related. May we create the group by ourselves, please? But how many people you're gonna create it? Like is okay. Let's make it in this way. I'll let you to do the creating the group. I have 4 people. No, 4 is, then if we are 44, yes, okay, let's make it 4 people. Okay, you just write me in WhatsApp. Don't write it in here how many people. So you write me like Arzu, Maria, Akerke, and so on. This is one group. Send me the names in your WhatsApp. Just with one message, all the group members. Don't send it in here, Maria. Okay, send it in the WhatsApp group so I can just know. But I will give the homework to each of you, and I'll tell you what to do. So today we're gonna solve some questions, and there will be some questions left that we will not solve it. These questions will be given to you as a homework to solve it at home, and you are going to present it. Apart from this, I'm going to give you another additional homework that will be asked from you to find a news related to this chapter, a competitive firms, a competitive in firms. And another topic is cost of production. So please find a case that is related to this topic. For example, let me save it. For example, Atlas Global shuts down. So in here, the example is given like one day after Air Italy shut down, the Turkish airline Atlas Global closed its doors following restructuring operation suspension. So, for example, something related to a topic which is done from the last 2 chapters, which is cost of production. The other one is competitive firms, the firms in a competitive market. Like when the firms shut down their operation in a short run and open in the long run. For example, Atlas Global, they shut it down for 2 months, their operations in the short run to just sustain these difficult times. After that, they reopened and they started to work. And for example, in other cases, they say that airlines that went out of the business. So there are many types that you can get it. Another way of doing is the cost of production. Find news that is related to the cost of production, where the cost is minimized, where the firms are reaching their minimum of cost production. So there's a way to find it using the Google, like news related to cost of production or news related to the firms in a competitive market. So here you go. There are a lot of news. So you just select one news and present that news and try to relate to our topic. Okay? This is what you're going to do. Find the news related to two topics. The first topic is cost of production. The second topic is competitive firms or the firms in a competitive market. The firms in a competitive market. The another one, so two topics. Cost of production. So these two topics, you should use it. Use for one. You don't have to find it for two. If you're using for firms in a competitive market, then select the topic that is related to the firms in a competitive market. Come on, Abdul, take 10 people anyway then. 4 people only. Or if you want, you can do it alone. It's better. Okay, you select one firm, one news related to the firm or one news related to here, and then make a presentation with a PowerPoint slides. If it's it's better for us to understand it. So what is in news? So how to find the news I showed you, go to Google, type the news related to the cost of production. News related to firms in a competitive market. That's it, and it will give a lot of news. Okay then. So this is all for the homework, and the question that I will ask you to solve, I will give you. Okay. Then today you're gonna send me the group names, maximum 4 people, and that's it. Okay. Let us continue. Let me get a quick review of questions of the chapter that we done it. So when it's all about the competitive firms, we are talking about where the many buyers and the sellers with the identical products, and the buyers and sellers are not determining the price. They are price takers. They take the price. And for the firms, always was the case to minimize the cost and to maximize the profit. We said that the firms will, in the short run, this decision to shut down its operation if total revenue is less than variable cost, okay, in the short run, or if the price of the product or services they offer is less than average variable cost. This is we said. Here's the diagram, which is shown in diagram. We can see that this is the marginal cost and this is the price, and the price is always equal to times the quantity will give you the total revenue. This is, we know it. So if the price is lower than the average variable cost, this is the average variable cost, then the firm should shut down the operations until it reaches. So in the long run, or so in the short run, if the price is above the average variable cost, the firm produces. So anything above this line, so purple line, you can see it, anything above this purple line, anything above this average variable cost, the firm should produce. Anything below this, the firm should come up with a decision to shut down. But shutting down, it doesn't mean that the company will not incur any cost. There will be a cost. That cost will be a fixed cost. In other words, we call it a sunk cost. A sunk cost is a cost that are already committed and cannot be recovered. And it should be ignored by firms when take a decision in terms of investment, in terms of their operation, etc. So we're coming to the long run case. In the long run, we said in the short run, look, price should be more than average variable cost for the firm not to shut down. However, in the long run, we are dealing with only total cost. The price should be above the total average total cost. So if the price falls below the average total cost, the firm exits the market. If the price is above the average total cost, if our total revenue is above the total cost, if the price is above the average total cost, then you enter to the market as a firm. So here's an example, average total cost. So in the long run, we deal with the average total cost that includes variable cost and fixed cost. In the short run, we deal only with average variable cost or with variable cost. With the exclusion, the fixed cost. Fixed cost is not taken into consideration because it is the sunk cost that should be ignored. And this is the cost that has been incurred and cannot be recovered, the sunk cost. So this is the way we measure the profit. Like if the price is more than average total cost, there is a profit. If the price is less than average total cost, there is a loss or negative profit. So this was the quick revision. And I want to come to the diagram that shows the relationship between supply and demand curve and marginal cost and average total cost itself, like the firms in a competitive market. So this is the market begins with a long run equilibrium at point A, and with the firm that they earn zero profit. Who can remind me what was the zero profit? What was the zero profit? Anyone who can remind me? Zero profit, is it accounting profit or economic profit we mean? Economic. Thank you, Joe. It's economic because it includes total revenue minus total cost, and total cost comprises of explicit and implicit cost. The explicit that we can measure and implicit we cannot measure monetarily. It's not monetarized. So this is the long run issue. This is in equilibrium. Everything is smooth. Everything is perfect. There is no need to exit from the market. There is no need to enter to the market. So everything is perfect in here. Everybody is happy. Even though there is a zero economic profit, they earn some profit, but that profit is very close to zero. With the inclusion of opportunity cost, it equates to the zero actual economic profit. So in panel B, it shows that what happens to the short run when demand increases for some certain reasons, like from D1 to D2. What will happen? If the D2 increases, that will increase the price. If the price increases, we can see that what happens in competitive market. It will lead to short-run profit. So in the short run, there will be a profit. Like economic profit will be equal not to zero. It will be equal more than zero. So we can see that our marginal cost, our equilibrium is higher than the average total cost. It's higher. So difference between this point and this point, it will create a profit. That profit is earned by existing firms, and it will be a sign, it will be indication for newcomers, for the new firms. They will say, oh, look, there is a market where we can earn profit. So it's good to go and enter to that business. For example, if you see any shops that are outside of the door, after 1 month, you will see exactly the same shops if they're making the profit. So because there is a sign that you can make a profit. So they enter to the market. Once they enter into the market, what will happen to the supply? Definitely, as the more firms enter, more supplies will be in the market. That will trigger supply to move rightward from S1 to S2. As they move, this will bring the price down to its minimum. This will restore the long run equilibrium where the cost will be minimized, where the economic profit will be equal to 0 in the long run. In the short run, there is a profit because there was a high demand that increases demand for supply and increase the attractiveness for the new firms to enter to the market. But after that, as more new firms, they realize that there is a profit, they will enter to the market that will reduce the supply. That reduction of supply will lead to from S1 to S2. That will make the firms to enter to the market, and this will bring the price back to its origin, and the cost will be minimized, where the marginal cost will be equal to average total cost, and this will be equal to price, and this of course will be equal to marginal revenue. Okay, this is done. Let's move. Okay. Let me just make it bigger. Now, in the first question, let's make it a quick revision for the questions to whatever we have done it. Now, what are the main characteristics of competitive market? So the main characteristics of the competitive firms, first one is that there are many buyers and the sellers, we said, in the market. The goods, second one, the goods that are offered in the market by various sellers are largely, in a majority, are identical. This is second one. And the third one, usually firms can freely enter and exit the market. And there is a fourth one, which is the buyers and the sellers, they are the price takers. Nobody is influencing anything. So this is the thing that you should keep in mind when we talk about a competitive market, okay? In a competitive market, we said that there are many buyers and sellers. Many buyers and sellers. I will just abbreviate with the BNS. Second, we said, second reason, that all products, goods, and services are offered by sellers are same by majority. This is a competitive market. Enter and exit by seller is free, so nobody has got effect on it. So if the firm wants to enter, they will enter. If the firm wants to go out, they will go out. Nobody can say anything. And therefore, we said that buyers and sellers are price takers. So these are the main characteristics of the competitive market. This is what you should always keep in mind. Save it. Explain the difference between the firm's revenue and its profit, which the firms maximize. So the firm's total revenue is equal price times a quantity of units that it sells, and the profit is the difference between total revenue and total cost. Firms that are assumed to maximize the profit when the total revenue is more than total cost. So draw a cost curve that typically explain the competitive firms. We already discussed, we don't need to draw it. It was in a PowerPoint slide. We said that the marginal cost, average total cost, and average variable cost, that price for the firm should be higher than in the long run, it should be higher than the average total cost. This is what we said. In the short run, let me just write it again so that it just keep in mind. So we said that in the short run, price should be greater than average variable cost, or total revenue should be greater than variable cost. In long run, price should be greater than average total cost, total revenue should be greater than total cost. This is what we know. Then the profit is maximized where the marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost. And this, of course, is equal to price. This is where the profit is maximized. And if you draw the diagram, you can see it easily where the marginal cost is intersecting with the price and intersecting with the marginal revenue, and is showing the profit is maximum. However, it's not the equilibrium, but in the long run, marginal cost will be equal to average total cost. The cross point of the average cost with the marginal cost will be the minimum cost, and where the economic profit will be equal to the zero. This is in the long run. And there will be no incentives to go out from the market. There will be no incentive to go into the market. Okay. So, under what condition all the firms will shut down temporarily? We already talked it. I don't think so. We need to talk again. But the firms will shut down temporarily if the revenue it would get from the producing will be less than variable cost of production. This is what we just noticed. Like in short run, we deal with the variable cost. In the long run, we deal with the total cost. With the total cost. So if price is less than average variable cost, this is the condition that will make the firm to shut down for a while. For example, Atlas Global Jet is the Turkish Airlines. In November, they shut down their operations because they were incurring more losses, and they shut it down for 1 month. Now, all the airlines, the world, like passenger airlines, they shut it down. But they didn't go out of the market. They didn't go out of the business. But they shut it down. Why? Because there's a problem which is called the pandemic of coronavirus. That pandemic affected everybody, and everybody now is in quarantine, and they shut it down because nobody is flying, and there will be no need to keep somebody. So I have a friend, he's working in Turkish Airlines. He said that our salary was cut by 50% because we are not working. Still, we are get paid a salary. So they, Turkish Airlines example, they see the workers as, even they are not working, but they see them as a fixed cost. They say that in order to keep these workers in our hands so that they don't leave the job, once we make them shut down for temporary issue, they just keep them, and they keep paying a half of salary for doing nothing, just waiting for quarantine to finish. This is the reason. So I want from you to find a similar news like from the internet as a homework when I'm gonna give you. So let us move. Under what condition that will firm the market exit or enter, let's say talk exit. So the firm will exit the market if total revenue will be less than total cost, not the variable cost, total cost in the long run. That will make the firm to go out of the market. This we talk. So does the competitor firm's price equal to its marginal cost in the short run and in the long run, and both? So now we need to explain the difference between marginal cost and the price in the short run and the long run. So in a competitor firm's price is equal to its marginal cost. P is equal to MC. Let me just type it so that you can keep in mind. P is equal to MC. This is what we know. And this is in short term. And price is equal to marginal cost in the long run as well. In both short run and long run, the price will be equal to marginal revenue as well. So the firm should increase the output first. The firm should increase the output as long as the marginal revenue exceeds the marginal cost. And firm should reduce the output if marginal revenue is less than marginal cost. Profit are always maximized when the marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost. This we know it. So when the firm should increase or decrease the output, it depends on the marginal revenue and the marginal cost. So when the marginal revenue is higher than the marginal cost, then the firm should increase. So marginal revenue is higher than the marginal cost. Increase quantity. If marginal revenue or marginal cost is higher than the marginal revenue, reduce quantity. And if marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost, we said that it is the place where the profit is maximized when the marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost. And this is the case for always. So does competitive firm price equal to minimum its average total cost in the short run and the long run? Both explained. We talked again about it in the diagram. So the competitive firm's price must equal to the minimum of its average total cost only in the long run. And in the short run, price can be greater than average total cost or can be less than average total cost. So in the long run, it should be equal. However, in the short run, it can be greater, it can be less. In the long run, if the firms are earning profit over the firms, that will be an indication for the newcomers to enter to the market. If in the long run, the firms incur the losses in the industry, that will be another sign which will lower the price of the goods and they will exceed the industry. So when they exceed the industry at eventual side, it will increase the price on it. So at that point, the price will be equal to the average total cost. So in the long run, in long run, price is equal to average total cost in the long run. In short run, it can be greater or less? I mean the price from the average total cost. The price can be greater than average total cost. It can be less than average total cost. Or we can say average variable cost, because in the short term we are talking about the average variable cost. But this is what we know it. So this is what we know it. Less than average total cost or average variable cost. However, when the marginal revenue we said is equal to price in the long run, price is always equal to average total cost in the long run. This is the minimized profit. Profit is zero. I mean, economic profit is zero. Cost is minimized. This is what we know it. Okay, so far. Okay, I think everybody got it and everybody is more confident concerning this. So let us move to more real questions. So in here, in this question, you have to construct a table that will consist of total cost, marginal cost, total revenue, marginal revenue, and the profit. So it's better to go with Excel, for me to go to Excel so that I can make it easily. Excel is here. Okay, let me close this one. So calculate profit for each quantity. How much should the firm produce to maximize the profit? Good. Calculate the marginal cost for each quantity. Graph them. Okay, then we're going to graph it. And at what quantity do this curve cross? And are we asked to calculate one more time? Calculate the marginal revenue and marginal cost both. So we need to calculate marginal revenue and we should find out the point where they're crossing. Okay, so let's do it. Just copying, putting into Excel. Oops, it didn't work. Anyway, then I'm gonna put it like this then. Quantity, total revenue, and total cost. Marginal revenue, marginal cost. Let me just increase it so that you can see it easily. So my quantity is from 0 to 7. My total revenue 8, 9, 10, 11. These guys are given everything. 13, I'm just copying from the book. 13, 19, 27, 37. And my total revenue, sorry, it was this number. Is total revenue, total cost, and total revenue is equal to 0, 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, and 56. If I give the space like this, let me make it like this, I will put my marginal revenue here and my marginal cost here. In here, I'm going to have, let's say, profit. Then I'll select this. Now, for me to calculate the profit is the first easiest thing. It's just total revenue minus total cost. So total revenue is 0 minus my total cost. So 0 minus 8 will give you minus $8. So there is a loss, there is a negative profit. Then, and it is the same thing for all. 8 minus 9, it should give you minus 1. As you can see, my total revenue, my profit is going down. And if I apply for all same, so look, my profit is increasing, and it started to decrease at this point. So it will be a good sign. So I need to find out where my profit is maximized. So I'll be able to find out. So my profit is maximized when the marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost. Now is the time to calculate the marginal revenue. So marginal revenue, and they're calculated in the following way. So marginal revenue, when there's 0, it's equal to 0. When our total revenue increases by 8, and divided by the change in the quantity, it will give me the marginal revenue. So marginal revenue from 0 to 8 of quantity will give you 8. Then 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, and 8. As you can see, my marginal revenue is fixed. It's like horizontal. But let's see what happens in the long run. Sorry, the marginal cost. So change in quantity divided by, so in 0, there is a marginal cost is 0. Change in total cost divided by change in quantity from 8 to 9, from 0 to 1, it's 1, 1, 1. If it's from 3 to 4, it becomes 2. Yes. Then here we're just taking the changes, which is 8. No, it's not 8, it's 6. It's 8 and 10. 27 and 37, the difference is 10. Now, in here we have to find where the profit is maximized, where the profit it reached its maximum. So we will be able to find, we know that when the profit is reached its maximum level, we know when the marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost. So our marginal revenue is 8, is always, so that means the marginal cost should be 8. So this is the point where they reached its maximum. So now we are asked to draw the marginal revenue and the marginal cost. If you draw it, now. Okay. As you can see, they're intersecting in here. So you can draw it yourself at home manually. Here we go. This is the point where they intersect. And this is the point where the profit is maximized. Okay? Now, where's the book? And can you tell whether the firm is in a competitive industry? If so, can you tell whether the industry is in the long run equilibrium? So what we can tell that industry is in a competitive firm. Why? Because the marginal revenue is the same for each quantity. So they do not differentiate it. So this is a good indication of competitiveness. And the industry is not in the long run equilibrium. And why it's not in the long run equilibrium? Because the firm is earning the profit. There is a maximized profit level where the marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost. That makes a sense that when we know that in the long run equilibrium, the profit should be equal to zero. This is our goal in the long run equilibrium. There should not be any profit in a competitive market. So it's a competitive market. And why it's a competitive market? Because marginal revenue is equal 8 and it's fixed. And there's a maximized profit. It's not long run equilibrium. But in the long run, there are many firms will enter to the market. If you remember, there are many firms enter to the market and they will earn money on this. Let me just show you the revision. To remind you, because this is a very important point to understand the logic behind this, what we're doing. So now there's a competitive industry. However, there is a profit indication. As there is a profit indication, okay? So this is the point, like this. Marginal cost is equal to marginal revenue. And there is a profit. Marginal revenue, marginal cost is higher than the average total cost. So there is an indication that the new firms should enter to the market. They will start earning the money on it. Once they decided to enter the new firms, that will shift the supply curve downward, rightward, and it will reduce the price to its peak origin. So marginal revenue will fall, the price will fall to its average total cost, where the cost will be minimized and the profit will be equal to zero. Okay, let us move. Question 5. Okay, let me give you the question 5. Okay, let us go with the question 5 then, as we have a time here. And before I start solving the question 5, the homework will be, please write down homework for Tuesday that you're gonna make the presentation, guys. Questions 6. Okay, don't go with the question 6. It's a theoretical part, it's nothing. Question 9, 11, and 8. 9, 11, 8. This will be your homework. This homework, I may ask you to one of your group members to explain me the homework. If you fail to explain, you will not get anything. So make sure that if you're doing in a group, that will be done properly. If you wish to do it alone, do it alone. If you're doing in a group, make sure that everyone know how to solve it. And if I ask this question, you have to be able to explain me how to solve it. any question related to these questions, you should be able to answer. But the presentation will be on the news related to chapter 13 and 14, to one of them, or, okay? So you will do the presentation. Let's say one person is doing presentation. The other people who is in the group, let's say 3 of them, they should be able to explain one of these questions, question 9, 11, and 8, one of them. Who's writing? We should do PowerPoint presentation. For the news, it's better to do it because I want you to show and share the news with us so that everybody can understand easily. It can be, it shouldn't be like 10 pages. It can be 2-3 pages, the PowerPoint presentation, because the news are not so much big. So make it small. Like 5 minutes for each group to explain it. So this is the homework 9, 11, 12. Homework to present. And this homework should be verbally submitted, plus as a report you should submit it, like manually solving, not in the Word, not in the exam, manually by hand. Okay, guys? We should do the PowerPoint presentation and should just solve in the notebooks and know how to explain. Yes, sure. You don't have to explain this 9, 11, 8, but you have to know how to solve it. And if I ask the question how to solve it, for the midterm exam, is it obligatory to have the cameras on? I'm gonna tell about it, don't worry, about the midterm. How, yes, it's obligation. And in any time I can ask you to share the screen. To share the screen in the exam for the midterm. So the cameras are obligatory to everybody to have it. And I may ask in any time to share the screen. Yes, true, I may ask, but plus you have to give me news related to previous chapter. Use your camera, Asema, if your camera is not working, make your camera to work in mobile. Download the Zoom to your mobile and open it and point on your working table so that I can see what you are doing from the back side or from the other side, so that I can just, it can capture the whole thing that you are doing. And plus you will be using the Moodle itself. Question 9 and 11 and 8 are given. I'm gonna go over it if you want. Just going to explain it, what you should do here. In mobile, I'm not asking to share in the screen. In mobile, if you use the mobile, guys, you don't have to share the screen. I'm not gonna ask to share the screen if you do it in mobile. In mobile, I can see that I can see you and your computer. If you put it from the back side, it can see and it can see your computer. That will be more than enough. Even if you will not have to share any screen. So I think it's better to everybody to use the mobile, to put it on the other side and use the Moodle so that I can see what they are doing. So let's make a deal, guys. So everybody is going to use their mobile using the Zoom. They are going to share their desktop, their table where they're going to do the homework. So that I can just make a good comment. It's good. It's good that we raise this issue. So we are clear now how we're going to write the exam. So you put the mobile on a way that it can share. It can share your hands, it can share your face, it can share the desktop computer or the laptop you're using to solve the homework, to solve the exam itself. Come on, guys, it's not a complicated thing, and it's just put the Zoom and put it on yourself, and that's it, and write the exam itself. On mobile, we don't have to ask on the share screen. If you know everything, it should not disturb you at all in terms of writing the exam itself. So putting the mobile as a camera and will be great. Okay, let's not waste the time on the discussing concerning the cameras. Anyway, we still have the time. On Tuesday, we're gonna discuss again, but let us go with the questions. I'm gonna tell you what to do and how to do. So question 5 is here. It's easy as well to solve it. It's straightforward. Question 8 is here. You're given the information, how many units produced, the average revenue, average total cost, and fixed cost. What is the profit? What is the marginal cost? What is the average variable cost? Is efficient scale the fair more than or less than exactly 100 units? So the questions are straightforward to answer. Is using the formulas to calculate. The profit is calculated total revenue minus total cost. Or there's another way to calculate the profit if you remember using the price, like price minus average total cost times Q, etc. So you just apply the formulas in here, nothing more, in question 8. When it comes to the question 9, in here, you have to just draw without any calculation. You draw it and explain it. And question 11, here we go. Question 11, you are dealing with the numbers. It is drawing, but dealing with the numbers. Okay, you draw, but with numbers. 8, 9, 11. Okay, let me start question 5. Okay, calculate the company's average fixed cost, average variable cost, average total cost, and the marginal cost, and the level of production. So we are given the fixed quantity and the average total cost. We need to construct, first of all, a table. Table, I can use the Excel as well, so that it can be easy for us. Having the table, we have quantity, we have a total fixed cost, we have total variable cost, average fixed cost, average variable cost, average fixed cost, and average total cost. And of course, to calculate, they ask you to calculate the marginal cost. So the same thing, what we did it's from the quantity is produced from 0 to my gosh, 5, 6. And total fixed cost is fixed. It's 100 and etc. And total variable cost, we need to calculate it. And if you go to the question, if it's not calculated, we need to calculate. So total variable cost is given here. You just take it and substitute. It is 0, 50, 70, 90, 140, 200, and 360. So average variable cost, first of all, let us calculate total fixed cost, average fixed cost, then we'll be able to calculate average variable cost. Okay. Anyway, so fixed cost in year 0 is 0. When this quantity is produced 1, the fixed cost will be equal to 100. When the quantity is produced 2, the fixed cost will be equal to 50. When the fixed cost is when the quantity is produced is 3, the fixed cost will be equal to 33.3, 25, 20, and 16.7. And when it comes to average variable cost, same, we're dividing the, like when it's 1, 0, it's 0. When it's 50, 50. When 70 is 35, 30, 35. If you divide 140, we divide by 4, we get 35, 40, and 60. So average total cost is just summation, or total variable cost, just summation of this fixed and variable cost averages plus. We did it all. That's why it's considered to be easy part. And marginal cost is 0, 50, 20, 20, 20, 50. Oops, we have too many 20s in here. If you calculate this one, 60, and 160. Okay. This is way, okay. What else we have? Calculate the company's average fixed cost, so average variable, average total cost, and level of production, and the price of the case all beer is $50. Seeing that can't make profit, a chief executive officer decides to shut down operation. What is the firm profit, and what is the was this a wise decision? Explain. So if the price is $50, look at here, look at table. If the price is $50, the firm will minimize its loss by producing 4 units. And where the price is equal to the marginal cost, when the firm produces 4 units, and the total cost will be equal to 200. So how do we come up with this? $50, when the price is equal to $50, the marginal cost will be $50 as well. We know that the price is equal to the marginal cost, and where they produce is 4 units. So if the price is $15, the firm will minimize its loss by 4 units producing. And where the price is equal to the marginal cost, and when the firm will produce 4 units, that total revenue will be equal to $200, and total cost will be equal to $140. So let me type it for you, you can understand it better. So $50 times 4 units will give you a total revenue of 200 plus. Then the firm will have the total cost, which is 100 plus 140 here, total fixed cost and total variable cost. Total cost will be equal to 240. And the profit, this is total revenue, this is total cost. And the profit will be equal to minus 40. That would make a loss for the firm. The firm will shut down and it will not earn a loss equal to the fixed cost. So for the firm, it's better to shut down, because if they do not produce, for example, if the firm don't produce, if it's shut down, look at the question where it says, guys. It says that I will let you go, guys. This is a question is very important. Just last question, finished. So was this a wise decision to explain? So CEO decides to shut down. The firm decides to shut down. Look, if the firm shut down here, what will be the cost? The cost will be only the fixed cost, which is 100. So there will be a loss equal to 100. If firm shuts down, the cost will be minus 100. Anyway, they will have to pay. If the firm doesn't shut down and sell at $50, where the marginal cost is equal to 50 is here, 4 units, let's say, that will make loss to equal to minus 40. So did CEO take wise decision to shut down? To answer the question, we say no, because if he shut down, he incurred loss of 100. If he still continues to produce, he will incur only $40 of loss. That will make the company to incur only $40 loss. So in this case, the company should not shut down the firm, because if he shut down, he will pay $100. If he doesn't, if he still produces, he will pay only $40 as loss. So it was not a good decision for the firm to shut down, for the CEO. Okay, we are done. Now, actually, I'm done. If you don't have any questions, please feel free to ask. If you will have any questions while solving the home, you can ask me. I'll be pleased to help you. If you don't have any questions, I'm stopping the translation here. Then see you on Tuesday then.